Good TGIF to you all out there. Good evening, good afternoon, good day, whatever the case may be. Here it is again, where we have an abundant amount of people, individuals, who like to hold double standards, and nothing wrong with criticizing or critiquing or observing or having a perspective or an opinion on a drive and or a team. But at least if you're gonna do it, keep the same energy. And if it's gonna be done, at least have some standards that seem to be parallel to others that you do it. What's going on, Wildcat in the super chat? All right, Wildcat in the chat. But what we have now is an abundant amount of people harshly and wrongly criticizing Yuki Tsunoda for his current performance in Red Bull. So much so that people have gone as far to say that Yuki Tsunoda is the worst driver who has represented Japanese drivers in Formula One. And that is crazy. That is crazy. What's going on, Humpback? When you got people saying, when you go that far to say that Yuki Tsunoda is the worst representation of a Japanese driver ever in the sport, I gotta wonder, where in the hell are you getting your facts and your stats from? And then once I see my own research and stats and facts, I realize that you are indeed a biased, double standard, throwing hate person or people, because it's people. All right. So, first thing we're going to do is we got to test it, right? We got to test it. We got to test it out and see, because people started criticizing Yuki as soon as Liam Lawson was going to be out of the seat. Big shout out to Miss Dino. They criticized him as soon as that. Why? Because Lim Lawson, blonde hair, white guy, there's no way he shouldn't have that opportunity. Let's just keep it a buck. Many people felt that way. A lot of you didn't, but many people felt that way. And Lim Lawson, to my opinion, based off my observation, based off what Yuki had already done substantially for the junior team, if there was anybody who was going to get that promotion, it should be him on merit, body of work, and his time in the team. Okay? Merit, body of work, and his time in the team. But that's not what Christian Horner did. He did a very foolish thing. He promoted Lim Lawson. Lim Lawson performed horribly, and then now it is where it is. So now Yuki having a troublesome time in the Red Bull car, that's not a mystery. That's not something that's uncommon. It's not like we haven't seen this before, but now Yuki having this time, he's the worst driver. He's horrible. Red Bull is a one-car team. You'd think that's not the first time we've seen that either. But let's go ahead and put it to the test. Yuki being the most horrible driver to represent Japan in the Formula One. Well, here's Yuki's stats. All right, here we go. We got Yuki. All right, his best result is fourth. Best grid position is third. His highest finish in the World Championship points is 12. Okay, so let's go ahead and start writing this down. Let's write it down. All right, so highest position, his best position in the driving championship is 12th. His best result in a race is fourth. Mind you, who he's racing for, but we're not going to mind that. We're just going to look strictly at number. His best qualifying position, shall we say, on merit is third. All right, so that would mean and let's go ahead and say 5 seasons. 5 seasons that's what he's managed to accomplish in 5 seasons. So in 5 seasons, Yuki, not driving for a top team, has finished as high as 12 in the Drivers' Championship. The best grid position is third, and his best result out of a race is fourth. Okay? So that means that's the floor. Yuki is the floor. If we got people out here saying Yuki is the worst driver to represent Japan in the sport of Formula One, the floor is that. If we don't find anybody lower or around that, then guess what? Maybe you have a point based off statistics. Maybe you got a point, right? Maybe you got a point. So first driver up that we're going to look at is Kobayashi. All right, right here, already, best finish in the Drivers' Championship is 12. Well, that's where Yuki was, also 5 seasons in the sport. Now, his best grid position was second. All right, his best grid position was second. His best result in a race is third. Okay, so overall, we're talking about World Driving Championship standings. He still ended up with 12th. He's still at 12, which matches Yuki. He finished 1 position higher in a race than Yuki, and he qualified 1 position higher in qualifying than Yuki. Okay, so we could say better than Yuki by a race and a qualifying session, but not better than Yuki in driver championship standings at the end of 5 seasons, which he also had 5 seasons. But if you notice, he missed the season. He missed the 2013 season. Okay. So then we got Sato. All right. We'll bring Sato in. We look at Sato. Best finish in drivers championship standings is 8. He finished 8th. Best grid result, still 3rd. Grid position, still 2nd. Okay, so we got a higher finishing in the Drivers' Championship, but he had 7 seasons, and after that 8th, everything else fell off. He doesn't even have a 12th after that. He got 8th one time. One time he got 8th. Yuki, one time he got 12th, 14th, 17th. Sato, one time 8th, 23rd, 17th, 21. So are we still saying that Yuki's the worst driver out of the first 2 that we went off to? Okay, if you want to say, yeah, by driver championship standings, you can say, okay. Yeah, he finished 12th. Sato was 8th. Kobayashi finished 12th. So we still round bout. It's nothing, nobody's greatly excelled over Yuki just yet. All right? So let's go to another driver. Let's go to Nakajima. Let's go to him. He also had 5 seasons in the sport of Formula One. He only finished as high as 12th in the Drivers' Championship standings in his first season, and then after that fell off a cliff. His highest result is 4th. His best grid position is 6th. Yuki is better than him. Okay, so right there, the claim and the insults and the double standards and the biased opinions that cannot be factually based just failed. They just failed because we literally just found a new floor. We just found a new floor. Nakajima is our new floor. Off stats, he's our new floor. He only finished as high as 12th one time. His best result is 4th, where Yuki's is 4th in the race, but his best grid position is 6th, and Yuki had a 3rd. So right now, it's all bad. It's dead already. Yuki's not the worst driver to represent Japan in Formula One. It's dead already. Right after we look into 3 drivers, this claim is already dead. But we can keep going. We can keep going, people. So right now, it's proven off statistical data, facts, and numbers, Yuki is not the worst driver to represent Japan in the sport of Formula One. So that is bullcrap. So when you get people start saying things like this, they got another motive. Are they just talking out of their ass and have no clue how many Japanese drivers have been in Formula One, where they finished, where they drove, where they qualified, where they finished in the Drivers' Championship standings? But we'll keep going because we've already found out Yuki is not the worst. We'll go to Suzuki. Brother right here, highest is 12th and 90. Bunch of non-complete. Then he's got best grid result 3rd, 6th, best result 3rd. And that's with 9 seasons. That's another floor established. So Yuki is 2 levels removed from being one of the worst drivers to represent Japan in the sport of Formula One. So what are we talking about? But we'll keep going further. We'll keep going further. Let's go to Katayama. Let's go to that. I might butcher the names, but it's okay. There you go. Highest is 17th. Best result is 5th. Best grid position is 5th. Now Yuki is 3 drivers from our list that we're examining. He's 3 drivers up from what would be the worst. That's a new floor. Highest was 17th. Yuki as high as 12. 5 positions up. Best grid position is 5th. Yuki's 2 positions up. Best driver's championship, best result is 5th. Yuki's up. So right now we found a new floor. So Yuki obviously can't be the worst driver to represent Japan in the sport of Formula One. Where do you get these type of things that people say? Usually it's biased opinion, double standards, and sometimes bigots, right? Because Yuki's he's not the right fit. It's not what you want, right? Yuki's the problem. Yuki's the problem. Yeah, okay, whatever. We'll get another one. Let's go to Nakajima Kasuki. Let's go to that. Well, there you go. 3 seasons in, never finished as high as 12th. Best result is 6th. Best grid position is 5th. Another new floor. Yuki obviously is factually not the worst driver to represent Japan in Formula One. Can we stop with these dumb shenanigans? Can we stop with the dumb shenanigans? What's up, Wildcat Lord Chaos? We got to cut it out. Yuki's not the worst. By far. He's not the worst. You know what Yuki is? You want to know what Yuki is? Yuki is the victim of a team who embodies the true definition of insanity. That's what Yuki is. Yuki is the victim, as others have been, of a team in Red Bull Racing that embodies the actual definition of insanity. To keep doing the same damn thing and expecting a different result. The car and the team are the problem. When you develop a car that is max-centric on top of a car that does not have a broad working window, this is what you're going to get. I mean, let's stop it. Let's stop the bullshit. I'm going to call it like it is. Let's stop the bullshit. Now people are praising Liam Lawson. Look at Liam. He's doing good, and he's at the junior team. No shit, you don't say. You're talking about the same junior team where Yuki was doing well? You're talking about the same junior team that supposedly Liam Lawson was showing promise, and that's why he got promoted? You're talking about the same junior team that Hajar is having a better season than drivers that have been in the varsity team? Oh, shit, don't say. Two different philosophies of developing a car because Max Verstappen is not there. That's what you have. Red Bull Racing, the varsity team, have developed a car that is Max-centric and a car that has a small window of operation and not even Max, supposedly some of you all's GOAT, which is completely false. He's not a GOAT. He can't even drag that car, which is a top-performing car in perspective to teams, to a bunch of race wins. So not only did you all oversell Max, and that stock is dropping, not only are we about to see, can Max Verstappen go to a different team that has not developed a car that is a rocket ship far out of here, out of this space 20, 30 seconds ahead? We're going to see, can Max Verstappen's supposedly greatness translate over and be a component in the whole of generating championships? That's what we're going to see. Because right now you're getting a window of it, and it's not happening. Right now you got a lot of people backtracking, talking about, oh, well, nothing's wrong with only getting 2 race wins in a season. Where did y'all start doing that? Where did y'all start? Where did y'all start doing that? Where did y'all start saying that only getting 2 race wins in a season wasn't good? Because Lewis Hamilton was only getting 2 race wins in a season. It'd be murder just like it is now, even though he just missed 1 race out of getting points. This is what I mean by constant double standards and moving the goalpost. Because all of a sudden, this is great. Good day, Mary Beanie. How you doing? I see you popped up in the live. All of a sudden, what's up, Dreads? This is great. That's great now. Let another driver, Lewis Hamilton, have that, and it's, oh, he's washed. He's washed. If Lewis Hamilton only had 2 race wins, people would still be out here talking about he's washed. Max Verstappen only got 2 race wins and been off podium several times. He ain't washed. He's not bad. He's still great. Yo, the double standards that these people apply are absolutely redonkulous. Absolutely redonkulous. Nothing is wrong with Yuki, aside from the same thing that has troubled many other drivers that have gotten into the number two seat in Red Bull racing. And that is Red Bull develops a car for one driver and one driver alone. And you know what? Hey, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. And right now, they're not winning many. This is what I mean by the landscape of Red Bull racing changing could be a good thing for other drivers within Red Bull's ecosystem, within their junior drivers, with anybody else who goes to Red Bull. Because what is about to happen? Not only is Christian Horner gone, Wheatley gone, hopefully Helmut Marko will be gone, Dietrich rest in peace, other key components in there be gone, Columns gone. Hey, not only is that happening, Perez is gone, did the best in that seat aside from Danny Rick. He's gone. When Max Verstappen leaves, you're going to see Red Bull hit another spurt of growth that's going to change that ecosystem of that team. And then what you might start seeing is two drivers competing well in two cars because they're not building a car just around one driver. Well, that's what you did. That's what you get. Congratulations. You got exactly what you were looking for. And is it winning you anything? Is he winning you a lot of things? No, he's not. Yuki's not the problem. Yuki is not the problem. Yuki is not a worse driver than he was at Racing Bulls as he is now. He's not a worse driver. What he is in a worse situation, which looked to be a good situation, which most would consider a great opportunity. But it's not. It's not a good situation. It's not a great opportunity. And it's not a good plan for you to move to Red Bull unless Red Bull changes as an organization team on how they function, on their philosophy of development. Just saying. A lot of shit's falling apart with Red Bull. A lot of things are not even falling apart. The makeup is starting to come off. The makeup's coming off. All that greatness. Remember, people said I was wrong. I remember when I was doing a podcast, when I was doing an episode with two other individuals, and there was one individual specifically that told me, that this thing was gonna run it up beyond 5 and 6 straight. And you know what I said? I said, I don't know about that. I have a firm belief that an organization that functions in the same way that they keep functioning, if they got four, I believe that that's their ceiling until they change something drastically. Unless they change the way they operate, they change the personnel, they change their philosophy. I believe they'll plateau where they once plateaued before. It's kind of like somebody working out. You don't change your workout routine, you don't change your food intake, you don't change the cardio. Typically, your strength or your peak powers will remain where they are because you've changed nothing. So wherever you achieved is what you will keep achieving, and you won't achieve more unless you change something. You change the weight, you change the way you train, you change the way you eat. Red Bull didn't do that. So I always believed that four was going to be their max, especially stringing them together. And that's exactly where they're looking. They're going to stop because a fifth does not seem like it's going to happen this season. And I could be wrong. That's what happens. You could be wrong, but I could be also right. I could be right. So stop with the shenanigans on the heavy criticisms and disrespect for Yuki Tsunoda. If you didn't have that energy for Liam Lawson, don't have it for Yuki. Liam Lawson is seeming to do better because he's in a different environment, although within the same Red Bull organizational org chart. Still, they got to develop that car, and they don't develop that car for Max Verstappen. Perez was right too. Red Bull shot themselves in the foot trying to push Perez out the door. You shot yourself in the foot pushing Sergio Perez out of the door. You treated him horribly. You let Max Verstappen and his family talk about him like crap. You let Helmut Marko make wild, ridiculous takes in public about Sergio Perez. You let Max go unchecked with his badass teammate ability, poor sportsmanlike conduct mentality, and you pushed Sergio Perez out the door. You pushed the only other driver to get into that second seat and perform in such a way that would give you an opportunity as a team to compete. And now look at where you are. Look at where you are. Congratulations. You played yourself. You completely and utterly played yourself. And now they want to shift the blame to Yuki for Max Verstappen's failures. No, it's Max Verstappen that's failing. It's Max Verstappen who you assumed had so much ability that he could take an AlphaTauri on Haas to pole into race wins. And now you'll find out you're wrong. He obviously couldn't do it. He won't do it, and he's never going to do it. Well, anyway, I also saw Max Verstappen say something negative about Honda and front wheel drive cars. Supposedly, it was reported that he said it's the worst tragic thing to drive, and there was a Honda Civic behind him. I wonder if Max Verstappen does that if Honda is not leaving Red Bull and going to Aston Martin. I wonder if he does that. Well, it's definitely not a good. I don't think so. I don't think he says something in regard to that, and it could be translated over to a Honda car. He's driving a Civic. I don't know what the case is, but not that you can't feel that a front wheel drive car is not the best for you. But if a Honda is a car you're driving and it's in the background, do you still say that? I don't think so. Kind of taking the Alonso approach, right? That's why Alonso and the beef with Honda kind of was there and concern for Aston Martin acquiring Honda as a power unit because Alonso was talking out his ass in regard to Honda power units before. So anyway, man, I just find it utterly disgusting when people say such things as this about an individual based off other things other than what that individual has accomplished. Paul in the super chat says, "What's good, fam? TGIF hope everyone has a great weekend. Smash the like, y'all." Paul always checking in. 100, brother. Thank you very much. So, all right, chat. We will see. Don't forget all super chats, just like Paul did. We'll be going in for another super chat raffle prize giveaway. I did ship the other one off. Incredible Facts Quest got his tracking number, got his stuff. I would hoping that he rips that box open when he gets it and shows us what he end up hitting. Hopefully, he got an auto or a sapphire or some type of cracked dice. A nice card. Hopefully, he got a nice card. It's always fun to open up a box of cards and see what you get from if you get a team or a driver you like. So, Incredible Facts Quest. Don't forget to share what you hit in that box. All right. And we will be doing other ones. I do have another box of Topps Chrome 2024 F1 cards. I have a bunch of other things that we're going to do a raffle on as well. So don't forget your super chats do count every time you do one. Your name goes in. And with that being said, this is another live event, and we're going to tell people to shut the F up with double standards and harsh criticism that are likely racially motivated. Just saying. All right. Peace. We're out.